All right, guys. It's been about a month, but we are live tonight, Sunday, February 25th. I'm joined by Sean and Gavin. We got a lot to talk about because, despite it being kind of the dead period, we have a lot to talk about across all sports. So, and we all know why we're here to talk about stuff.
I actually have no idea why I'm here, but
I mean, we're here to talk about X-Men for the next hour and a half. Like, that's what we're really here for.
No, it's just
Don't
a bad
you know that?
time.
You're doing a rewatch.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so is everyone else. It's like I actually watched it in the 90s on Saturday mornings, and it was a part of my schedule. So
yeah, it was part of my schedule too.
I finished the actual end of the series, unlike those 10 episodes they tacked on.
The ones where they were like, yeah, we had no idea those episodes were happening.
Well, because they couldn't get the studio they used to actually animate. It's like, wait, what? We're busy. No, go get someone else. All right. I refuse to rewatch that stupid fairy tale episode they made. So I'm not. It is like the worst episode. It is the worst episode like ever in the entire 60, 70 episode run of that thing. I refuse to watch Jubilee tell kids made up bullshit fairy tales, and not doing that one.
I think in their book they said they did not have a lot of input in season 5. Like, they had to pump out episodes, but the 2 episodes they're very proud of was Wolverine and Captain America, and then the final episode. They had those 2.
I get to watch that one. Yeah.
That's a good one. They say if there's one that they are connected with, yes, they do love those 2 episodes a whole lot because they still got to end it on their terms.
Did you know Wolverine is old?
No, not at all.
He was in World War II.
Really?
Real quick, I know this is going to turn into an X-Men talk, but you know what I love about that fucking X-Men series? It's
Which part?
No. It's like the fucking world will be in fucking danger and crazy shit with Apocalypse or fucking Jean Grey as the Dark Phoenix will be she'll be just putting out this massive amounts of energy, and for just so they can tell people it's a Marvel thing, they'll cut to quick shots of Doctor Strange and Thor they're both like, what was that noise? And they just sit on their ass and don't do anything about it. By the way, Doctor Strange and Thor exist. They're not going to show up other than that because I don't know, they're just there, but just like, what was that noise? And they just go on with their day. It must have been just a firecracker. But yeah, let's talk about funny. Sport.
Well, real fast on that, do you know the story behind how they even got those characters in the show?
I assume they're Marvel characters and they have the rights to Marvel characters, and there were other 90s shows that had those characters, because Thor was in a Hulk episode once, and there was an Iron Man series, there's a Spider-Man series.
Hey, that Iron Man series was awesome because
there was a Fantastic Four series that was good. Yes. That was actually good. The Iron Man series was not great.
So if I recall correctly, because I remember 2 different versions of the story, but they were told no by the executives that they could not use cameos or stuff because they weren't sure about the rights and everything. So you know what they did? They still snuck them in, but instead of putting Doctor Strange, it was Majestic Wizard number 246 because no one would ever check it. And then afterwards, they said, ask for forgiveness later. So when it aired,
Viking with Hammer looks up and goes,
Yeah, they said the only one they got in trouble for was Spider-Man. They asked to have Spider-Man, and it's well, we got his arm in there. We still got in trouble.
They got a hand, and that wasn't even Dark Phoenix. That was fucking what? I think that was early Apocalypse episode or something. I forget.
No, that was Phoenix.
I don't even fucking remember half the time. But it's here's characters around. We acknowledge these people exist.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
They acknowledged the Kree and the Skrull briefly, but no, we're not going to do that.
Yep.
Anyway, Sports.
Let's talk about sports. Sean, Gavin, how have y'all both been this past month? What's all been going on?
Fucking nerd, and I'm waiting patiently to be disappointed by that X-Men 97 series. So
I will judge you right now.
What? I'm waiting.
I'm not going to be disappointed.
I expect nothing from that thing.
Oh, I expect everything because they have the original showrunners on it.
it said the final will and testament of Charles Xavier, and it's like it just says Dear Magneto, and there's a picture of a butt. That's gonna be the reveal. He didn't own anything.
Yeah, it could be spot on. I mean, the biggest troll moment ever. Just saying.
Yeah, I leave everything for I leave everything for Magneto to hold my dick. Hold my dick.
He's nuts. Other than that, how's things been, Sean? I know you've been paying attention, obviously, to softball and seeing the W's keep on happening because we won't reach 100. You're right. We're not.
I mean, I enjoy every weekend like finding new random gifts for numbers to post whenever they win a game. So 67 today was great because I got to use a Squid Game gif. And I know 69. There's all sorts of options, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's no way this team is
at home.
Yeah, there's no way this team is winning 100 games in a row. It's not going to happen. It's impossible. There's
not at all.
Way.
There's
no way they will break that record when they come to Orlando and I see it in person. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Where I'm sitting next to Chris Blank in the booth and I'm just like, just like dropping random comments. That's not going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
I did get to see Flow softball for free today. So, and yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So here's what I'll say. Is Flow softball worth $30? Fuck no. Is it way better than has been reported by certain people? I will say, yeah, it's like the nightmares I've heard in years past, at least for the past 2 days of the OU games I watched. It was a perfectly serviceable broadcast for both like the 3 games I saw. It was fine. Now, if you want to pay $30 for it, it's still too much. But you know what I've seen, Eric Lopez called the Seattle game, and he had to do it remotely because he wasn't actually there at Mary Nutter. He was actually here. So, and I think his color commentator was in New York. So, the only minor downside is that their reactions to whatever was happening was like a second or 2 delayed. But it's like you get used to it. It's not a big deal after a while. Yeah. The broadcast for the Loyola game was a little bit better. Whatever the hell they're called. It doesn't matter. They unrolled them. They don't exist anymore. It was a slightly better broadcast. And I'm not holding anything against Elo. It's just that when you're trying to guess what your color person's going to say and you're a second or 2 behind, it's going to be a little off, so you can't just free flow do. So Eric's a really good play-by-play man for UCF. It's just that when you're in let's say the man got paid an extra $1,000 to do some softball remotely, and I would say yes to that too myself, but I would be the worst softball play-by-play man because I would be talking about my rewatch of the X-Men in between pitches. I'd be like, could you stop hitting home runs? I'm talking about Wolverine. Which is the coolest X-Men, by the way, Josh.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sean, because last I checked, Wolverine answered to one X-Men only, and his name is Cyclops.
Motherfucking loser. Answered Cyclops in front of a room full of people and embarrassed me in Orlando. God.
There's dozens of us. Dozens.
Yeah.
And yet, hey, to be fair, since that's been 10 years removed,
we're playing a nerd version of like $25,000 pyramid. And you have to give simple clues to what the answer is, and the answer is Wolverine. I'm like, all right, the coolest X-Men. This motherfucker had the nerve to say fucking Cyclops.
And yet
I should have leapt out of my chair and fucking choked you in front of the 24 people that were watching, because the whole crowd just went, "What the fuck?" in unison.
Hey,
I literally had to go. I had to go snick, bub, in order to the fact that I had to say that. Jeez. Anyway, back to softball. Softball's neat, and OU is winning.
It is. It is. Didn't Pat? I think you posted something. I don't know if it was a joke or not about Godzilla. Did Patty actually say that, or was that a joke?
Are you on drugs?
No, I'm not.
I believe it was quoted not by you, Sean, but I think was it by it was another reporter, wasn't it? I was thinking it was like I saw. Crap, I can't remember. It was Tulsa World.
Are you both on drugs?
No, I'm not.
Maybe.
What's happening here?
I mean, do you want to share, Sean?
No,
I
saw the report.
Are you asking if a joke tweet I made is real?
No.
Maybe.
I have no doubt about you, Sean. No.
Are you asking if a joke tweet I made is real?
I mean, Josh might be, but I'm not.
Might be.
I forgot.
Regardless, as you said,
I forgot to use the sarcastic font again.
Yes.
I always forget.
But as you said, though, for sure, softball's winning. They're back on ESPN Plus at this point. They're winning. There's not a whole lot to say at this point.
Hey, they're going to have a game on FS1 for Bedlam, believe it or not.
Speaking of Bedlam, how about that basketball game last night?
Which basketball game?
The one that made everyone lose their shit. The earlier one was as expected. So all props to the ladies who might win the Big 12 regular season this year. So congratulations.
They might.
So
they took care of business. They did well.
Yes, but Javier McCullum, for 12.4 seconds, I wanted to murder him. But once we got to 12.5, I was totally cool with him. But it was it was a typical OU possession, and Javier McCullum just held the ball. I guess he's like, all right, Javier, you're gonna make the final shot. We're not which. In retrospect, when you think about it, it's like, who the hell else would make I guess Suarez would make the shot maybe because he's thank God he's back. Jay McCullum just I'm just going to hold on to the ball. And it's I'm going to move backwards. The time's running out. You got to shoot. And then he just hit a fall away, fading 3-point shot that just went right into the basket. No problem. And it's we won this game. How about that? We had no business winning this game because we couldn't. God,
they tried to give it away multiple times.
It's not that they tried to give it away. It's just that they were. It's this OU team couldn't Let me just come out and say this: OU and OSU suck. Let's just get this out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They both suck. They both suck.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna pretend that OU is in this position or they needed to win this game to stay alive for a tournament bid because
correct.
They thankfully play Cincinnati again, and if they win that game, as they should, knock on wood, they will get 20 wins because they're not beating Iowa State again. They're not beating Houston, and I don't see them going to Austin and winning. So you just assume those are all L's, as we should, and they beat Cincinnati. They will likely get a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. That's kind of where we're at today. But no, just they could not, they would get a bunch of stops, but they could not for the life of them, make a run until late. And
but that's been Porter Moser's entire coaching with the players. Let's be honest.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to criticize it, but that's his entire tenure here, is that.
Well, and then you get to overtime, which was in a weird way, it was so goddamn poetic because OU gets a 2. OSU gets a 2. OU gets an and 1. OSU gets an and 1. We hit a 3. They hit a 3. It's just it literally went back and forth. It was they both took up 30 seconds. Boom, they took up the entire shot clock almost. And it was my God, they both teams really want to win. It wasn't both teams are desperately trying to lose. No, both teams are trying to win. And it got to the point where it's okay, all we need is a bucket. And it's getting a bucket in college basketball, forget about OU or OSU. Anywhere else, it's a miracle if you can just create your own shot. It's no one can create their own shot in college basketball unless you're just the predetermined lottery draft pick number 1 that's going to go to college for a semester and a half because that's what.
And McCullough's very hot and cold too.
We don't have a Buddy Hield or Trae Young. You see, we don't have one of those at Oklahoma right now.
No,
but it's But it's
it
like
was a desperation shot. Let's be honest. Like,
It was.
I wouldn't call it. It wasn't. No, I mean, he had a good. I mean, it went in perfect. It wasn't desperation. He just knocked it down. Desperation to me is like half court. Like,
okay, that's fair.
It's like you're in range. You're in 3-point range. You're right there. Like, OSU fans are. He touched out of bounds. Like, I hate to make the bad news, but Eddie Razosevich was right on top of things, and he was not out of bounds, as you can see from the replay. It was great to see. It was just great to see them. Like, they didn't give double birds or anything, but it was like they're like, "Fuck you, losers, we're out," and we'll never.
Yeah,
play
they got the picture of the crowd giving us the double birds.
Oh god, that was great. So
yeah,
this is for football, you sons of bitches. Swept you in basketball.
Man, if you look at the replays and stuff, their hearts were torn out. Like, yeah, they care about football, but man, they were just. I cannot believe we just
you gotta remember, man. You gotta remember, 80s Bedlam was legit, man, in basketball.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too is that football's not usually always been the most, sport that was always dominant. It was like even during the 80s and 90s when you had the Eddie Sutton years and even some of the Iba years too, especially with like basketball, wrestling, or any other sport, they always would have more of a hyper attention, towards that and everything too. But it's just kind of a focus on that, and especially to win in that building is not usually an easy feat because they come with hatred, and I will say that lightly.
Well, and adding baseball and stuff too, and lately softball
and softball as well too. So
yeah.
I would just say, like, any of the I would call it the Olympic sports, they will go all in on it. They sure do.
Yeah.
So, Baseball took the day off today. So,
I mean, it was a good weekend in general for OU athletics, though.
It was great.
Baseball did well, softball obviously, basketball, both of them. I think wrestling also did well. Like, everybody did fantastic.
Don't forget hockey.
Those motherfuckers in hockey.
Hockey. I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking of. Hockey.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Forget the hockey team.
Spit them chicklets, motherfucker.
Check them into the boards over at the BOK Center,
I don't care about hockey.
That was my puck. Was it very nice?
But either way, OU did very well this weekend. They go back to Norman with the W with basketball and everything. So, in general, like right now at this point, it's like baseball teams showing up. How far do y'all think basketball will make it? Like, one and done?
They're one and done.
One and done.
So
I mean, unless they just play someone as horribly inept as them. All due respect, it's it just depends on matchup. And listen, your best chance really is to believe in the myth that the Big 12 is just that so awesome, and that when they go to the tournament, it's like, we're a Big 12 team and we're going to win 3 games by default. I don't see that. Because like the excuses people have told me is like, well, the Big 12 is so hard. This is like, you can't put Porter Moser in the hot seat. I'm like, yeah, yes, I can, bitch.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Did yesterday
this is year
give
3.
him a little relief, or is his seat still
I mean,
hot?
to an extent, I guess, but it's like, I don't. If someone told me he's coming back next year, I'm not going to be upset over it.
Right,
I'm not going to be.
I'm
not going to be excited. I mean, I'm not going to be excited either. It's like, I mean, the SEC has decided to play basketball a little bit. I mean, Alabama decided we want to be good at basketball now, and they're good at basketball now. They decide that they're a football only school allegedly, and then you have, Kentucky, you just swipe out Kansas for Kentucky, and maybe one day Florida will decide to be good at sports in general again because they just don't want to be at anything. I don't know. It's just it's college basketball as a whole just kind of sucks and is like really, really just in a shitty situation. And there are people who are saying, let's expand the tournament more. And it's like,
college football, expand it more. And we haven't even played 12 teams yet.
Yeah. I'm not as upset over that, but I can still like go, why are you? I mean, I know why they're doing it, so I can't go
money.
Well, it's money, and it's like Sankey and TD. They're just like throwing their dicks on the table and saying, "Listen, we run the sport now, so we want like 4 guaranteed spots each." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's what they're doing." I don't think at the end of the day we're expanding before we play. I really don't, because these motherfuckers are talking about, Bill Hancock has said, we got to make a decision in 30 days, which tells me they're not going to. So I think it's just all a bunch of off season. Let's keep the sport in the consciousness of everyone while it's February and March. So you're getting people talking about the college football playoff without, in the 2 months that frankly no one really cares about football. February and March are the worst months to talk about college football. It just is. So I actually thank these guys. I actually thank them very much for actually having something to pretend to be outraged about. So I want to thank those guys. And then March we'll have like a week of spring practice, and they'll go on spring break, and then we'll come back, and April's going to be
mostly... Didn't you do that checklist of like how to make it through the off season? And you're here. This is where we're going.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have I have all these things listed out, and I will once we get to the end of the month, I will retweet the list, and or just repost it with a check mark if we've made it through February. And then March is going to be all about basketball. We're this close to people pretending that they paid attention to college basketball this past season. Yes, I watched all the way back from November. You'll fill out a bracket, and people will put Duke in the Final Four because they still think Coach K is there. And and then someone like UConn will win another national title probably.
Death taxes UConn or Baylor winning basketball.
Yeah. So. So I'm at the point right now where I'm basically waiting for Deadpool 3 to come out. That's what I'm looking forward to next month.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to see an R-rated Disney movie. Let's do it.
I mean, didn't we have those when it was Touchstone Pictures?
Yeah, but this is under the Disney label, and it's R-rated, so. Great.
Oh, gotcha. You want the real Disney label, not the off-brand Great Value.
Yeah, or Miramax. They had Miramax for the longest time.
That's true. They did have Miramax. I mean, just a rando thought on the Porter Moser thing too. I always assume no matter how hot his seat got, it was always make it to the SEC and see what happens in year one.
Yeah, it's hot in there.
Yeah. If he did well, I think he would keep his job for it. But if he does horrible next year, yeah, people are going to be calling for his head at that point. That's just my thought on it.
You're in a conference that don't care about basketball, and you still suck. Boo. Well, I don't. Here's the thing. I don't blame him partially because it's impossible to build a fucking roster in college basketball. You think everyone's the portal is ruining? Fuck you! It's not ruining. Like fucking college basketball. You don't have the same. Forget about having a star player for more than 1 year. You don't have the same team for more than 2 years. Well, and
that's where it's like, how much do I want to put blame on Porter this year when he had a lot of attrition? Like he didn't have any guys.
But everybody has a lot of attrition. That's the problem. And so you have to judge. Everyone's getting judged on these new. On these new standards, and it just keeps changing. Like college basketball, whenever people say football is getting ruined, like I always laugh at them because I just like they always say it's going to be like it's going to turn into college basketball. It's like fuck you, no, it's not. First of all, it's football. Football is at a different plane of existence than basketball. It always will be. Like because trust me, like even if at the end of the day we end up in this Premier League, thing that people are saying is going to happen, where it's just the Blue Bloods and a handful of other teams that are popular or whatever. Like we're gonna have some 32 team Premier or whatever it is. At end of the day, it's like it'll be football and people will watch it. College basketball, the problem is the same thing that's been the same problem for years when the NBA decided, we'll do one and done to try to help the sport out or to help us out. No, the NFL tells high school football players you must be 3 years removed from high school. Translation: go to college, go play on a big stage, put some more of your game on tape, on film, so we can watch you on a big. Like, there is a healthy relationship between the two. Well, there might be a fight because the NFL is getting a little like, hey, why are you taking our January Saturdays? That's mean.
And they're getting a little bit. I don't think
feisty, you weren't using them. But
I don't think feisty is the right word, but they're also getting a little upset with the NIL of you're kind of getting a little ambitious with it when that's what we're trying to offer the recruits to get them to jump early. It's not fighting words yet, but it's more of a hey,
the NFL.
Well, no,
fuck them.
Well, here's another point you have to look at though too, is because now some of these, like, they don't probably want to go to college. They might want to take the G League route too. And that's going
for
on
basketball.
Well, they do take the G League route.
Well,
they do.
I know. I'm just saying, but that's what I'm saying about the whole college basketball point. And I'm just saying, to your point, Sean, some of these like top recruits and everything, they probably don't want to go through the normal college route or so. They might go through the G League route where they might get the money that way as well and not have to do the whole college.
I don't have to go. I don't have to go to fucking algebra class on Tuesdays.
Well, but I'm just saying.
Excuse me, sir. They're one and dones. This is basket weaving pre-101.
Yeah.
Algebra is for the second semester, which they don't go participate in.
But unless the NBA woke up one day and said, players union, let's have a talk. We need to make it a 3-year minimum between high school. They could still go G League, they could still go college, but like college basketball, I grew up in like 90s college basketball, which was awesome, and that shit don't exist anymore. It is gone.
Do you think that happened because Kobe Bryant kind of like killed that essentially when he jumped straight to NBA?
Kobe?
And now
no, that was before. That was a little after Kobe. It was LeBron.
No, man, there's a lot of guys before Kobe that were doing that shit.
Yeah, but then you still had stuff like Michael Jordan and stuff.
Kobe wasn't even the number one pick. He wasn't even.
No, I know.
Like guys like LeBron, like Dwight Howard was the last high school to the pros straight. He was the last one to do that. Who was like a legit star, who's probably might end up in jail at this point because he's a piece of shit apparently.
Yeah.
But LeBron was the big name. Kevin Durant. I'm not Kevin Durant.
No, Kevin. I was going to say he went one and done.
I meant to say Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was high school to pro.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of other guys too, but they're forgettable, and that's kind of what the problem is. But it's just.
But they see the famous, like the LeBrons of the world, and be like, I can do that too. When a lot of them can't do that. Like LeBron and Kobe.
Dude, LeBron's high school games were put on ESPN. He was that fucking hyped, and he lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
So.
Correct.
But like again, it's just one of the reasons college football works is because you do have guys who stick around and they're prepackaged stars, and people bitch about there's movement all around. Dude, it's not as bad as you think it is. It really isn't. Like people I'll yell and scream about what happened with Caleb Williams all goddamn day, but like those are rare. Like once a guy finds a spot and he's the guy, he's usually not going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's so the problem is like what you're seeing is guys are not being backups for as long as they used to be who are legit, and they're not going to stick around. So like as much as I hated Riley at the end of the day, his system of he tried to go get like you want to try to get the best player you can get every year, but he was smart enough to like go get the biggest high school quarterback he could every other year, so it's staggered, so you're not having like one guy right behind the other. So
and that makes sense, obviously.
Look, did Riley offer Bryce Young a scholarship? Of course he did, but he wasn't like I'm not worrying about it because number one, at the time, he thought he had Rattler ready to go, and then he had Caleb Williams down the road too. So, and to be fair, Rattler, even during the COVID year, was the guy. So it was just So, again, college football is not dying. My sport is dying, and I don't like it anymore. I'm seeing that shit nowadays. Like, okay.
No, I don't think it's dying. They do need to rein in the NIL though at some point.
They can't. Well, they can't.
Well, no,
you can't. The rule, like fucking Tennessee, like has destroyed the NCAA. There are no fucking rules right now. Like people, people thought it was the Wild West last year, the year before. Fuck you. It's
now,
even
right now.
So no, like it is like open fucking season. So. And the NCAA had all these years to get their shit together, and they decided not to because one of these days, because they always got to be taken to court.
They never thought the court would turn against them on it. They really didn't.
Yeah, but guess what? Every time they got in a courtroom, and like the Supreme Court, despite who you may like or not like on that, is like if there's one thing they're in agreement on, the fucking Supreme Court 9-0 is like you fucking are full of shit, NCAA. So
yeah. Well, that's what I keep saying too. I mean, and I want to talk about this separately in a moment. That's why I really do believe Florida State's going to win their case. I really do against the ACC.
Well, hang on. That's not an NCAA thing. That's an ACC. That's an ACC TV contract grant of rights thing. That's not the NCAA. Got nothing to do with that. So
correct. And I want to clarify that.
Now, the problem with Florida State is they may have accidentally committed a felony.
Yeah,
they may have accidentally committed a felony by revealing ESPN trade secrets. Oopsie.
That's not how it works in Florida, though. Like it's all open secrets or open records.
Like trade secrets are trade secrets are trade secrets.
It varies.
It's not legal. I highly doubt if you sued Coca-Cola in Florida for whatever reason, the Coca-Cola formula is not open to the public.
Okay, so I'll agree there because ESPN's based out of North Carolina. I could see that. Okay.
And actually, they're based out of Bristol.
I can get them. Bristol. Sorry, I said North Carolina.
Bristol, Connecticut.
Yeah.
I can see that. Don't get me wrong. The flip side of it, though, is if the ACC doesn't give them a copy of
if I find out how chicken nuggets are made at McDonald's, I'm in business. There'll be a chicken
we all
coop.
know what it's made of. It's made out of goo.
Yeah, there'll be a chicken
Haven't
coop
you watched
behind
South Park?
I don't care if it's made of goo. I don't care if it's made of goo. Give me some fucking chicken
even
nuggets.
Cartman's like, just full of shit. I'm okay with it, guys.
Anyway. So no,
but
Florida State may have accidentally committed a felony. It's figures for Florida man. Florida man commits a felony. Oops, did not expect that.
Oops, but with you're not wrong with the NIL. Like it's even wild to hear this. That's why it's why I believe, like in my heart, my cold bitter heart, that I really do believe it's going to be a Congress or a court thing's going to decide this. Like, yeah, they're employees. Get over it. Decide it now. I think it's coming. I don't think it's even 5 years.
I mean, then they might win, then they might get out of contract, and then Clemson's going to follow suit. Like the ACC is going to implode eventually, allegedly one day. But I don't know if it's just a matter of. Well, it's just a matter of when. I don't know if it's going to happen overnight or if it's like, listen, here's the thing. Here's what it comes down to, basically, the simplest thing. I think there's going to be a settlement because if this thing goes all the way, someone's going to win and someone's going to lose, and neither side wants to lose. Because if you're Florida State and you lose, you're stuck in your contract till the mid-2030s. If you're the ACC and you lose, your grant of rights is broken and everyone is free free game. So I think there's going to be some sort of settlement. If Florida State is willing to pay not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, but a 9-figure settlement. A 9-figure settlement.
I don't
get
think
out.
It's going to be 9 figures.
But they're willing to pay it. They're willing to go $150 million. That's how much they want the fuck out.
$150 million.
Yes, everyone talked about OU and Texas having to pay $70 million. It's like no one will pay that. These motherfuckers want to pay. They want out that fucking bad. So And if they
because
get
they
out,
writing on the wall.
And I don't know where they're going. I don't know if they go to the Big Ten, SEC, wherever the fuck. I'm sure the SEC is going to the SEC will try to convince Florida to say, look, fuckers, we got to take them because we don't want the Big Ten in our territory. And the Gators will be like, fuck you. Because teams it's like schools like
it'll be like Texas A&M all over again.
Well, no, it's because Florida and
don't
Florida,
forget Miami now.
Fuck Miami. Let's see. So because
Miami, I think they beat Big Ten.
Because here's the thing. Florida Florida State has always kind of flirted with the SEC over the decades, but Florida don't want them for reasons. Georgia don't want Georgia Tech for reasons. South Carolina don't want Clemson for reasons, and so on and so on. But Texas A&M wasn't. They were new money. They weren't part of the old money club. So they got
Texas A&M didn't realize they were used there solely for recruitment.
Texas overrode the whole same state rival in the conference thing, and they're like, "Sorry, this is Texas, and we like money." As much as I hate the Texas Longhorns, they print money for whatever reason it may be, their brand, fuck their brand, and
you didn't say that loud enough.
Well, now I'm just I have to save it for when it's actually time to make money and plus I have to bleep it out at times. So
that's fair.
There's one word YouTube really doesn't like. It's fuck. I'll say it on here because I know you're not monetized and it won't matter.
That's true.
I mean, maybe one day. I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm just saying.
No, you're not wrong.
I'm just stating facts here. But you can say shit and bullshit okay, from what I understand. So because it's kind of a word you can kind of say now, but people got really mad that I said goddamn. I was like, use the Lord's name in vain. I was like, what? Oh yeah, that thing. So I hate to break the bad news, but if you should have met me in my Army days and everyone else who was around my perimeter, that was the least of the fucking curse words that were said around. I'm desensitized to cursing. The Army did it to me. That and Monday Night Raw in South Park. Anyways, so
I mean, you're a teenager of the '90s. At that point, so I mean,
unlike some people who wish they were that I know of, no one hear them. But it's like people talk about the '90s like they were there. Fucking wrestling dorks who are in their mid-20s talk about the Attitude Era like they experienced it. Like fuck you, you don't know shit about the Attitude Era. All you fuckers talk about how great it was, dude. Go back and watch those '98 Raws. Take out the Stone Cold Steve Austin segments. Monday Night Raw in 1998 was mostly trash.
Yeah,
it was awful. If you minus Steve Austin from the year 1998, Raw is total fucking garbage. It's not Raw as War. It's Raw is bullshit.
Yeah,
it's fucking terrible. Because I went back and watched some of those shows over the years. It's like, oh god, this sucks.
Well, your standards went up.
Well, yeah, but anyway, turns out the man who ran that thing is a horrible rapist, and they'll have to go back and remove him with a blue dot or something. Good luck on that. But
was anybody surprised by that? Those rumors have been going around.
Well, kind of. It's one thing to be a sexual harasser. It's one thing to be a rapist. There is a difference. There is a line there. Sexual harassment's not good. I'm not going to say or pretend it is, but when you go the full way and you treat people as sex slaves and you share them with other employees, and it's like, what the fuck, man? It's like, if you're into kinky, weird shit, I get it. Just add it to your fucking FetLife page, but consent, my man, consent. Anyway, the college football playoff is at 12 teams right now. At a 5-7 format, and we might go to 14 or 16. If it happens,
didn't the Pac-2 try to fight that too of not making it 5-7?
Yeah, good luck with that shit if they actually did. They kind of,
as far as I know, they tried to fight and said, no, we're a conference, and I believe they were like, no, you're not.
Well, they had to. Well, yes, it needed unanimous consent for it to be a 5-7 format, and I'm sure someone made a phone call. Look here, you fucking pricks. you're like two little fucking like nuggets in the toilet about to be flushed down. If you even pull this shit on us again, you even dream about doing this, you better wake up and apologize. And so that's basically what happened. Look, them talking about them expanding, whether they do it or not. If they go to 14, I'll roll my eyes, but be like, fine. But if they go to 16 for no fucking reason 2 years after the current contract, it's like, what are we even doing here?
Because, money. That's what we're doing here. Well, as Mr. Krabs famous said, money.
Yes, we're doing money. But everyone talks about ruining the regular season. 12 teams is perfect for the regular season because your top 4 spots that you're giving buys, that's something to play for. Because those 4 spots aren't just the 4 best teams, it's for the 4 highest conference champions. And people bitch about that. We're not the 4 best teams. It's like, you rank the 4 best teams, whatever bullshit like metrics or, made up shit you came up with on Talking Heads like a week or 2 ago. Fuck that shit. I'm glad there's like a fucking direct path. Top 4 highest rated conference champions. We all know who that's going to be. SEC, Big Ten, ACC, whatever the Big 12 is this week. That's what it's going to be. Fine. The group of 5 gets a slot to the American or conference, USA, wrestling, whatever it is. They'll have a shot to get in there. And they'll more than likely be 12 or 11, whatever the fuck. But yes, I like that the conference championship games matter in that format as well, because it's like, hey, guess what? If you don't want these conference championship games to turn into garbage, you keep it at 12, because guess what happens? You go to 16. The conference championship games won't mean shit anymore. Now, I could take them or leave them. I'm not going to lose sleep if they decide to go away, but they're going to keep them around because of what's that magic word? Money. So, but you're going to have conference championship games where you're almost better off either not participating in them or losing them.
Here's a question for you both with it, Sean. Since you brought up, since you're kind of not for the 16, FCS does 16 outside of like taking away.
How many FCS playoff games do you watch a year?
0, because they're not really televised. As far as I know.
Well, they are actually, but I'm just saying, like, they are televised, but like, how many games do you watch?
Also, too, like, it's North Dakota State, South Dakota State, and
yeah, but Montana. You don't watch them, but because you have no attachment to anything.
But that's the fear of like these other
hardcore crazy people I know who are bigger nerds than I am about it, watch them, and that's fine. But,
Redbeard does, but he also has a connection with Montana, so like he likes that team a whole lot.
I have a
so he would be like,
I have a connection with Montana. I live in the United States, and Montana is one of the states, so that's my connection.
Thank you.
So again, just when does spring practice begin? Maybe in a couple, I think
it's March, isn't it?
It's like first week of March sometime. But here's what's going to happen: they're going to practice a week, then go on spring break, and then come back, because spring games April 20th. Most of your spring practices are going to be late March and throughout April. So you'll get like a week of practice of spring ball, and then you're going to might as well just kick back and watch the basketball tournament we've been talking about. So, but you're going to get like our Brent Venables press conference in about a week or 2, where he's going to tell us all the things we wish we think we want to know. And someone's going to ask him one question. He'll take 20 minutes to answer, because that's what Brent does.
I mean, in like 2022, it was as late as like March 22nd. So like that was like
it just depends, because like we're having our spring game on 4/20, which is gonna be great for recruiting.
It's gonna be the biggest. It's gonna be the calmest place in the United States.
I care about who's gonna be there for the spring game for that weekend for visits for like 25 and 26. That's what I care about. So I'm more all invested in the recruiting aspect and how that's going to springboard into the summer. But the playoff. Well, listen, we got 2 years of the 12-team playoff, and as I said before, I don't think they're expanding. I think it's just a way to stay in the news cycle.
It's what they did with like, we're going to announce the schedule twice. You're not wrong there.
They're not going to expand it. I just don't see it happening. Now, this will come up again in a year, because something's going to go wrong with the 12-team format. Someone's going to bitch about something. Because remember year one where Baylor and TCU...
Oh, they're already...
That shit is going to happen. Pitching. Someone at 13 or 14 or 15 is going to get pissed. All the things that people say in the whataboutism conversations or debates, there's going to be some shit involving that. And watch it be Oklahoma. Watch us go 9-3 with the second toughest schedule in the country, and we get left out for like we get left out.
You're already spot on.
We get left out for a 10-win Penn State team that didn't do shit and lost to Michigan and Ohio State. And like, well, Penn State. I mean, Sean,
you're already on point. People are already bitching. If it was something set like last year, LSU at 9-3 would get in. I'm like, a 9-3 team is probably going to get in, guys. Like that's not unrealistic. It could be one or two.
Yeah, I could totally see that 9-3.
It's inevitable.
LSU team getting in.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong.
I could totally see that. Like they didn't beat anybody worth a shit. Did they beat Ole Miss? I think they beat Ole Miss. But other than that, or maybe they didn't. Like they didn't. They beat Missouri. Missouri's who they beat. They didn't beat anybody worth a shit. They lost to Bama. They lost to who else?
They lost to like all the major players.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels won a Heisman. He didn't win a big game, basically. So
right.
So like,
well, that's the problem too. Is
they're the best player in college football. I was like, I guess. I knew he was going to win it. I had no problem with it. But like, because like Caleb Williams, like basically was sacrificed to the shitty defenses of Lincoln Riley and like got his ass whooped in South Bend. And, again, just like went out 7-5 as a fucking loser because his head coach can't build a program on his own. But
that I was thinking about that, and we've mentioned it here before, just how wild it is of like Caleb Williams. He is definitely fantastic player. Never did anything worthwhile.
That's not true.
Yeah, he got a Heisman, and that was it.
It's not true. He didn't do anything. I mean, he beat Texas.
That's true. Well, yes, thank you.
Like that's how you want. Like people think I'm like incorrect when I say he won the Heisman from that game. No. He won the Heisman a year ahead of time because of that game.
Correct.
That game was like he's going to win a Heisman Trophy because of that game. There's a reason why I almost got a sign on national TV on wrestling that said Caleb Williams for Heisman because I thought there was a brief chance that maybe he could sneak into the conversation for 2021. It did not happen because like his head coach that he ended up going with was going behind his back and was like working on taking another job and instead of getting ready for Baylor. But I digress. So again, it's like, next year, like a 9-3 team gets in or 10-2 team from the Big Ten doesn't beat anybody's going to get in. Like there's going to be plenty of teams that are like, what did they accomplish? Well, they're the 10 seed. Who cares? Who gives a shit? If they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. That's kind of like my thoughts on it.
Here, I want to throw this question at you too. Do you think some of it too? But going back to the topic of money, do you think some of the schools, like the ones that would get the buys, like we want some of that pot with the home games and stuff as well?
That's what the argument. That's what the argument is because we're going to miss out on a home gate. I'm like, are we really fucking having this conversation? I shouldn't be sure.
We are,
but we are.
Yeah.
And I made the I made the declaration I was a good idea fairy. I said, what if these teams that not only are the top 4 seeds win their conferences, get money bonuses for winning conferences, their coaches get bonuses for winning conferences. What if they get bonuses for being the top 4 teams and that compensates them from losing that gate? And then it's like, well, you can't compensate for, the local businesses. I fucking hate all of you. So if who was the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Chiefs, or who the fuck was number 1? I forget.
It was the Ravens.
I think it was the Chiefs.
Okay, so the Baltimore
Ravens. You're right.
So the Baltimore Ravens were the number 1 seed in the AFC, right? They didn't host a game in Wild Card Weekend. Is the city of Baltimore dying for not having a home gate for the Ravens? Or I know Baltimore's a shit. I know Baltimore is a shithole anyway. But Mike, because have you seen The Wire? But at the same time, it's just like. Do they get compensated? I don't know. You tell me, because like everyone's trying to like fix everything before it happens, and it's like you worked all this time to sell people this 12-team format, and I think even people like me is like, can we just slow the fuck down and let things fucking happen? Just let it happen.
That's
and
the thing
again,
that cracks me up on it. It's like, we're going to lose out on home revenue. Guys, you have the entire season. If you're telling me this one game is going to be a make or break, we got bigger things to discuss.
They're bitching
about
home revenue. They're bitching about home revenue that they're used to not having in the first place, and is not guaranteed on an annual basis anyway. You have to make the playoff, and you have to be a certain seed to get that home revenue. So if you want your football team to be worth a shit and be as awesome as you claim and funded to be, you want to be in that top 4 where you're not playing that weekend. You can get ready to go to the Rose Bowl or wherever the fuck. And that's another thing. The Rose Bowl is so dedicated to be played on January 1st. They're a permanent quarterfinal game. So if you go to a quarterfinal game, like, you're going to be some people are going to be put in the Rose Bowl, and those fucking redcoats in Pasadena are going to be bitchy and want a Big Ten team or a fucking classical Pac-12 team to be there or whatever the fuck. It's just, you got the Mary Nutter knuckleheads who think they're the Rose Bowl for softball because they showed those goddamn mountains over and over again today. Did you see the mountains? We have palm trees in front of them too. We have palm trees and mountains. Isn't that great?
They don't have them anymore with the storms and stuff.
Yeah, I was told by a little birdie they're desperately behind the scenes doing everything they can to try to steal the World Series from OKC, and it's like, good luck with that, bitch.
Who is
the Mary Nutter people who run that fucking tournament in
you don't have
California?
a big enough stadium to really do.
They're not going to do that. Yeah,
we'll just build one. Yeah, good luck with that. So
go build one.
Sure. They desperately want to try to see if they can steal it from OKC, and it's not going to happen.
No, it's not. Like, Holtz even said, like, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. We could host it in Hoover, Alabama. Good luck. It's not happening.
No, it's just, guys, it's not. If we're going to do that, then open bids for the College World Series.
It's not fair because Oklahoma gets a home game for the World Series every time.
No, it does not. If you want to go back to the early 2000s.
We'll force them to drive up I-35 by covered wagon. Does that compensate? Does that make it, a fair travel arrangement for you? Because I get to make I'll get to make that joke again this year. I can't wait. It's so much fun.
I know you get to repeat so many jokes of horse and buggy. I mean, I laughed at the joke of we got tired of conquering America, so we're going to go play in the Mexico tournament.
Conquer
Mexico next.
I'm sick of this thing, Mexico.
Like, that was a good joke. I was proud of that joke.
Oh,
but it's
speaking of which, there's an iguana that just went by.
That happened. That actually happened. Yes, that's true. That really happened.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my God, it's a 3-star. I need it for I need to get my PS3 trophy or my PS5 trophy.
Okay, Josh. So if you did not see the tournament that happened down in Mexico, there was an iguana that actually ran right across the field, and it actually ran in front of our pitch.
And it was wearing an OU jersey. It was weird.
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be
great.
Makes me think of the Fox that was at OU Texas in 2021 that ran onto the field. Everyone went, "There's a fox!" What? Oh, son of a bitch! There's a fox.
Wait, sometimes we have cats. Some places have like Mexico. We have live iguanas running on the field. This is great.
I heard that's our starting right fielder.
Sean, what you mentioned
Geico
on the NIL stuff and everything. I mean, that writes itself as the Geico commercial. But that's the thing. I don't think a lot of these schools are starting to realize, like, the check is coming. Like, I think they are going to split off and make the Super League. I think that's inevitable at this point. I think a lot of these schools are getting a wake-up check.
Like a bunch of super friends? Yeah.
I know, right?
You mean they're going to start a league of their own?
That's the thing. No, but no, I think a lot of these schools are going through the motions of they're not going to get access to that big money because they shouldn't be in FBS in the first place. Sorry.
Well,
no problem saying it. Like, many of those schools.
Well, you got to be careful.
I mean, Sean, I've seen so many stupid comments on it.
You're saying that you're not saying that to the people. The Super League is They're talking about breakaway. You're saying that to people like Colorado and Kansas and shit like that. So it's like it's not like you're not just saying this shit to Appalachian State or Arkansas State or Troy. That's not just the message. So I don't know.
I'm talking just football though. I'm not talking
right. Well, I mean,
sports.
we talked about it earlier, but like I've talked this with Eric. Like who are the only schools out there that you would, if you were the Big Ten or the SEC, that you desperately want to go try grab? Notre Dame is the obvious one that they will back them into a fucking corner until they're forced to join. Then you
and they're convinced they're not going to join that. They'll make it sound like my dudes. I told that to Notre Dame buddies. Dudes, it's coming. Like you'll probably be in the Big Ten, but it's coming because haven't you seen the wording?
It's going to be like, speaking of X-Men, it's going to be like Days of Future Past where you're down to like Wolverine and Kitty. You're like down to Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. And then Kitty Pryde's like, when she goes back in time, I have to warn you, Notre Dame.
That was good. That was a good one. I like the reference.
You see, I went comic book Days of Future Past and not cartoon series Days of Future Past. So
I liked both though. I like the cartoon. I like the movie. The comic's good though too. But that was good. That was good. I give you props for that. But no, Notre Dame, Florida State, obviously. You're not leaving Florida State out.
I'll throw the Hurricanes in there because someone was alive in 1984 once. I will put Clemson, North Carolina by himself. The Virginia schools, I'll throw them in there.
I would say Stanford solely because they have a lot of money.
Here's my thing on that. I think that when the ACC implodes, I do think at some point Stanford and Cal will join the Big Ten because if it wasn't for Fox saying we're not paying for that shit, they would have joined because the Big Ten wanted to invite them, and it would make sense too because you would have your you would own the entire West Coast. Like you don't have Northern California, you have Southern California, but Northern California, and plus they love to rub shoulders with the Cal and Stanford people because they love to have their other extracurricular stuff, and so that's a big deal. San Francisco is a big thing they want to do. So
Stanford was always a given because even though the football sucks, that endowment's nice. They're not going to leave them out. And
Stanford and Cal
because UCLA just does not want to keep paying Cal directly. That was always inevitable.
Yeah, Stanford and Cal will they are future Big Ten schools.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
So the ACC will implode.
So then I think there's 4 spots after that. I've done some calculation. Who do you go get?
I don't there is no number or spots. It's like whatever you want to do. There are no rules anymore. Once you got past 16 and got to 18, the rules went out the fucking window.
That's fair. But then who would you go get at that point? There's not anybody left.
Well, no, we talked about it. It's like Stanford and Cal will be a Big Ten schools, and the ACC dies.
After those, to me,
Notre Dame. I think at the end of the day, we're gonna have who's I'm trying to think. It's I don't know. It's like when you see a couple and that you think will get. It's like if Batman and Catwoman finally got together and got married and shit. It's like with the Big Ten and Notre Dame. It's like Batman and Catwoman should get married and but it just never happens. So that's what's going to happen.
I don't know why my head's going Duke for some weird reason. I have no idea why.
Duke will probably find a spot. Here's how I think Duke's what's going to happen with Duke. You're going to see all the basketball schools in the ACC are going to merge with the Big East. I think Duke, when it comes to football, is not long for this world. I don't think they're guaranteed anything. I think North Carolina is a weird thing too, but certain schools, like North Carolina is the one exception. I think all the North Carolina schools outside North Carolina, the Tar Heels, they're going to they'll merge with the Big East to become a super basketball conference. So I think that's what's going to happen.
But then, do you think I don't know how to word this, but there's a lot of that. I'm not going to say Pacific Northwest, but that Rocky Mountain area. Do you take Colorado solely because of the Denver market?
No.
And that's it? Because I don't think so either.
I don't think. None of those. So. There's none of those schools in the leftover. If any of those schools in the leftover Big 12 were worth a shit, they wouldn't be the Big 12.
Great value. They're at great value level.
They wouldn't be the Big 12. So I just don't see that.
Touche. That's why it's a great value Big 12.
Yeah. Now I would say from a basketball perspective, I can see it. But football is another.
Yeah, but basketball don't drive the bus. So
no.
So that's the thing too, Gavin. I thought that too many years ago. Oh yeah, Kansas would obviously be picked up by the SEC. Not even for football, basketball. They turned down and said no. We don't give two.
I think Kansas would eventually end up with the Big 10
or the Big. Yeah, but they said we don't give two shits.
No, but I was the one person screaming to high heaven that Kansas would always find a spot, and I was like, oh. I guess I'm wrong because Kansas was just always waiting for that phone call for the Big 10. It's like
it never came.
We'll join. We're ready, guys. Because I always love like posting like that video of like a guy vacuuming an empty office and it just like it's like meanwhile Kansas the Big 12 headquarters. I love that video. It's a great thing to post.
It's because Missouri got their call to the SEC.
Yeah.
Missouri wanted the Big 10. That's what they really wanted. They didn't want to join the SEC. They wanted to be part of that Big 10 club more than anything because they thought they were special and everything. But
they were not.
Well, now you got Eli Drinkowitz, who every time he gets a recruit, he celebrates like he found out his wife isn't cheating on him this week. So,
woo.
It's just he like jumps into the arms. He jumps into the arms of other grown men wearing like fucking shorts. It's fucking awkward and weird. There's nothing wrong, and it's not like a gay thing. It's like be gay all you want, but it's like, come on, man, you're the fucking leader of the football team. You act like you just won the Super Bowl because you got a big time recruit for once. Jesus, act like you've been there. That's why I can't wait to go into their fucking stadium with their stupid rock M that they're so proud of and whoop their asses. Yeah, I see you haven't used any of that SEC money to like fill in that spot for seats. You still have a big like M made of rocks, like you're the fucking Smurfs or some shit in Smurf Village.
Baylor used to do that with their infamous tarp.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Gavin, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything at all. I was just agreeing with the show.
I thought you were going to say something.
I see some people in the chat talking about Lacey. He may be retiring or something. I have no idea if that's true or not. The funniest fucking thing I saw was on Sooner Scoop, and someone responded that was reported on fucking Matt Blackwell's fucking Discord server. Fuck you, Matt Blackwell, you news stealing piece of shit. So if Matt Blackwell is breaking news, it means it came from somewhere else first. So fuck fucking Matt Captain 405. He's so fucking full of shit. Yeah, I just like dropped a little bit of a bomb there. Don't follow that piece of shit. He's a fucking news stealing fucking asshole. And he charges people on a fucking message board that he just steals.
Which guy
from
is it
places.
again?
Yeah,
I'm trying to recall it.
Matt Blackwell, Captain 405. He's a fucking
That's
news.
it. Okay. I didn't hear the captain.
All he fucking does is just steal news from other people. And he like charges
he get called
people
out for it too.
Yes, he got called out because he was stealing from Jesse. He was stealing shit from Jesse's
That's right.
stuff.
That's right.
And he keeps on trying to sneak back in there, and we always try to have to sniff his ass out every few months.
Yeah,
that little prick motherfucker acting like he broke news. Like anytime fucking Drum or Thune would drop notes, he would wait a few minutes and rewrite it in his own fucking words, claiming it was his own fucking sources. Fuck you, Matt, you piece of shit.
Didn't he do that too with Scoop?
Yeah, he does it with everybody. It's Scoop,
okay, that's what I thought.
Or that's like, you know, I try not to like enemies of people anymore, but fuck that dude. Fuck him. So anyway, if you
that's the guy just trying to get fame
if you give money to that dude, here's the thing. It's like I react to news. I broke news one time and I got it wrong at the end of the day. So I had to eat shit for that forever because it's like a running gag about like fucking
it was that recruit.
It was like he ended up going to fucking UCF instead. So but the point of the matter is like I react to shit like most people and I hear the same shit. You know what the difference is? I don't run a fucking message board and charge people for it. or try to like, I heard some news. No, you heard something on fucking OU Insider or Scoop or fucking from Dog Chat, you motherfucking prick. You are a goddamn fucking thief. And the only reason you interact,
I mean, that's us here. Like,
say what? What?
We talk about it here. Like,
yeah.
What?
No, Matt's a fucking like douchebag. Like, fuck him. When he got called out, he got exposed. And so, because people asked me, he's like, what's up going on? I was like, no, he got exposed. And I told people to fucking stay away from him.
Yeah.
Because he tried to he tried to DM a bunch of people in fucking Dog Chat. Hey man, I'm thinking of starting my own thing. He was like planting seeds way back when. So
yeah.
Like he likes you'll if I see him in a fucking Twitter fucking spaces where he's talking a bunch of bullshit, just like everything he says is fucking garbage. It's regurgitated shit from fucking Thune or fucking Brandon Drum, or it's coming from Sooner Scoop or wherever. So don't trust Matt Blackwell.
It's the ones too, like trying to ride on the coattails as well, of like trying to make a name for it when it's like it's too late, guys. Like you got to establish your own brand.
Well, no, it's not about brand or anything. It's like if you actually have your own independent sources that can tell you shit, that's one thing. But like, notice like whenever that motherfucker drops something, it's always like just right after news is dropped elsewhere, and it's rewritten in his own fucking words.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Did Parker Thune drop something? Wait 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden the stupid pirate motherfucker will drop something. That's literally the same thing.
Kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic that his thing is a pirate.
Yeah.
Since he's stealing. Kind of ironic.
Yeah, I don't fucking trust him. See, here's the thing. I don't just like, there's a bunch of news that whether it's Thune or whether it's like Josh or Carrie or Eddie or whatever it may be, or like there's lots of news that's dropped on the reg. I don't just immediately run to my channel and talk about private premium content. The only time I actually talk about that shit is when, like, say a recruit is going to commit tomorrow, right? I don't get on here and say a video, I know a recruit's going to commit tomorrow, unless it's super obvious and people are like, it has to be super obvious. It has to be one of those worst kept secret type of things where everyone knows. But if it's I always wait till the moment he commits. Like if I'm gonna make an announcement at 5 tomorrow, it's like 5 tomorrow he commits. Then I get in, I talk about it, and I say, Kerry Murdoch or Scoop reported this yesterday, or Thune reported this a week ago. Like I always try to give credit to those guys because these guys did the work, did this and that. I just react to shit. I
have the hard rule for myself for it is, if you can search for it and it's something on a public forum, it's fair game.
It has to be like the worst kept secret type of shit where everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Where's Jonah Williams? Yeah, where's Jonah Williams going to go? Yeah, it's one of those things. Everyone knows where Jonah Williams is going to end up. He's going to end up at OU. Oh, no, I spoiled the surprise. No, it's like one of the worst kept secrets. So it was like with Caleb Williams. Remember like fireworks with Caleb Williams? Like that was one of the worst kept secrets, like way back when. So it's like, again, just gotta, it's like I'm gonna start my shitty little message board, and I'm only gonna charge. I'm not gonna. He said first he wasn't gonna charge anything, then he was gonna charge on. It's like you fucking prick. Just a fucking con artist.
I was gonna say because he charged at first. I was trying to remember when he charged.
He said, I'm charging. Now I'm not going to charge. Then he went back to charging. And he's like, he's so full of shit. Because he got called out. Like, that's what happens when you get burned. But that's what happens when you get fucking, when you burn fucking like the whole fucking fan base and the whole fucking recruiting community.
Yeah.
I'm sure a bunch of them say, we love you, Matt. We love the hard work. Yeah. Like, says you don't know any better. I see that shit half the time. And there's a reason there's very few people that interact with you anymore, motherfucker.
Well, yeah, because if you're gonna steal content, I mean, stuff's gonna circle back around.
Yeah, you go into the Discord server. You go to the Discord server and like try to, like, if Thune popped something or said something, he would take any little hint of something of positive news that maybe wasn't news, and he would just rip it off as his own. And people, hey, I fell for it for a while. A lot of people fell for it, but at some point, everyone's like, someone put two and two together. So something's not right here. And then, I ranted about that enough.
No, you're good. You're good. I was thinking of this too with the super conferences, just kind of going back on that really fast. I see the thing I keep seeing a pop up is, well, if they break away, we need to punish those schools. We'll keep them out of March Madness. Y'all know that's illegal, right? Like, just because they form their own football does not affect the other sports. They're NCAA. Well, we can kick them out. No, you can't.
Well, number one, they wouldn't do that anyway because they are the fucking tournament. So that's not happening. You don't have like that fucking tournament. Like the problem. This is the big number one issue for like breaking away and starting your own fucking college thing. The reason why I don't think it's going to happen like that is because the NCAA is going to do everything they can to bow down to them, even though they still try to pretend they're in charge. Because the one thing that they have over the SEC and the Big Ten is that, all right, you can go start your own league, but the NCAA still has this little thing called, they still have their tax-free status under government rules. And you don't necessarily have that if you start a new league where players are getting paid NIL, or they can do whatever that, they create their own rules type of thing. That's kind of like the tricky deal they got to navigate. So while the NCAA is still kind of falling apart right in front of us and may not even exist in 10 years anyway, that's the one thing they got, and he's gone. And we're still live. It's just you and me, Gavin. Let's go. I'm in charge now.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how that figures out.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Sorry about that. I was having an audio issue. Now,
well, see, see, when you left now, so I'm in the upper left-hand corner on my end, so I'm in charge. That's the way I look at it.
Oh boy.
Normally you're on that end, but now I'm in charge apparently. So,
what's up, boss?
I am in charge because I can do this.
It's true. You were saying though, here's the deal, and then I got audio issues on my end. So could you kind of repeat that for me?
Long story short, the NCAA has tax-free status, and the Big Ten and the SEC don't necessarily have that if they started their own league. So
well, and it's with those smaller schools, they also don't realize too, like, sorry guys, go create your own tournament. The money's not going to stay with you. If you kick them out, we're going to do the sharing. That's not going to happen.
The NCAA wants to keep their tournament because that's where they make the most. That's where they make their money. It's like, it's like when pro wrestlers back in the day would talk about, I don't know what kind of year I'm going to have till I get my WrestleMania check.
Correct.
So it's the same thing for the NCAA. Like, they know what their March Madness check is going to be. And that like determines their year.
Well, it's they haven't. They're not connecting the dots too. They're not going to leave out 22 of the 25 most highest paid brands. That's just not happening. Yeah. And that's not including Clemson and stuff right now. Like, the only one that in there was something, I think it was Cal. They're not going to leave them out, guys. I'm sorry. Like, go create your own then. But the money's not going to be there. Exactly. Sucks to suck.
Who's going to be starting center? Probably Everett. Like, it sounds like Everett is doing really good. Like, he's like kind of like taking that next step under Schmitty and whatnot. So Everett's likely going to be your starting center. If not him, Joshua Bates, but I'm going to lean towards Everett. And then the transfer from North Texas is, I'm hearing good things about. So at guard. So the interior of the offensive line is one area I'm not concerned about because we have a lot of potential there to be great. Tackles is kind of the we'll wait and see and find out. We're even if we have like our starting tackles already on campus now, hypothetically, they still need bodies, probably plural, and they need to go get them in the portal this coming May. So they will get bodies at least. Not necessarily starters. Hey, if they get a kid of the caliber of that LSU kid who we missed out on, then great. I doubt that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
Like if we had like if we had like an O-line that was like 120 starts and a lot of seasoned guys, I would be fucking bullish on this team and say we're gonna fucking win 11 games and play Georgia and Atlanta. But I can't do that right now. I just can't.
Yeah, you gotta see more from this team for it.
Because and the reason I would make that claim is because I could see all the it's kind of like the rebuilding that LSU and Bama has to do, and but if you can run the football at will and protect your quarterback, you can do all sorts of shit. I don't care if it's the SEC or not, but it's just the fact that you just don't know, and you're going to rely on a defense that you hope is going to take a giant step forward. And even then, there's no guarantees you're going to be like some top 5 mega defense. I'm hoping this will be a top 20, 30-ish really solid defense, because I know some people
we were top 50-ish last year. Do you think we were a little bit lower?
No, I know. I mean, we had our ups and downs at times, but I mean, as people are saying, if Lacey retires or whatever, I mean, like I said, the whole Lacey comment is what got me going on the whole Matt Blackwell thing, because like apparently that news came from him. That's why I think it's bullshit at the moment. It could end up being true because he could have just stolen info from someone else.
A blind squirrel finds a nut every so often.
Yeah, but if Lacey ends up not, it sucks. You lose a little depth, and you don't want to lose. And frankly, you don't lose any depth at that spot, and you'll still go get another tackle on defense. But it's I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But Dejon Terry's the like Lacey. I like okay, but like the guy I think is more important is Dejon Terry. So because Dejon Terry's a run stuffing dude, and he's gonna be. And look, we're gonna need like Jaden Jackson and Stone to like play a lot next year. I don't expect them to be like superstars year one, but they're definitely gonna be in the rotation and they're gonna play. Just like PJ Adebawore played a lot last year. He wasn't a superstar, but you saw little flashes of what he could be.
That's what I was about to ask, is if you think PJ is going to step his game up this year.
I mean, I would hope so, because it's just PJ's problem was that his upper body was not there. I mean, you could still be impactful even without that, but he was just from what I watched him at the Under Armour game here in Orlando, it was like the dude waist down is built like a brick shit house. It's like insane. And like his upper body is like super, he's very lanky, and he's got very long, lanky arms. But
he did the opposite of don't skip leg day.
Yeah, leg day was more important, and he's like, but dude, he's got like the frame to be like insanely great. So
yeah.
Just I think the guy I'm excited about really is Okoye. I think people don't know. I think people don't know how really good Okoye is. Like, he was a homeschooled kid who kind of played he played kind of in a league, like at a level.
It was a homeschool league.
So it's like, it's really hard to gauge. If that dude was in like 5A or 6A Texas high school football,
he'd be a 5-star easy.
He'll be a 5-star easy, and we don't get him. You know what I mean? It just feels like that. Like the reason we got him is because he's an in-state kid, and the fact that Riley's not here anymore, because he was not going to commit to this school because they don't play defense at OU, because that was a big deal to him. Like, they fucking suck, and he's right. He was right. But Venables really turned that around. And it's like, this dude is legitimately probably like a top 50 national player. And it's just, he's right in our backyard. And he's like, because he went down to this, like, to that U.S. Army Bowl, not the All-American, but like, it was like a third. No, and he was just like the best player in the field.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm just excited at the prospect of like year 2 PJ and maybe even year 1 Okoye. If he has a good off season, it's like we're starting to get to the point with OU where
was Okoye real fast, was he early enrollee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We got like 20 early enrollees. It's insane. Like the only guy you kind of wish was an early enrollee that's not here is like Taylor Tatum, the running back.
Yeah.
Like he's the only one, but I'm not worried about running backs. Not like
that dude's that was because he wanted to finish baseball. Is that not? If I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
I mean that's part of it, but like I'm not worried about running backs because running backs can pick shit up fairly quickly. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Like
what? Briefly, while I'm thinking of it, Sean, while we're on the topic of football, what are both of y'all's thoughts on the new special teams hire?
Well, considering that special teams was optional for OU last year, any hire is a positive. So
yeah.
Special teams was like what was our best special teams moment last year? We almost
fielding the ball, fair catching.
We almost made a great trick play in the Texas game, but I got called back because it was a forward pass.
Okay, this might not count, but Freeman taking it to House Arkansas State was the only one.
You know what? That's not good. How about this? Peyton Bowen at times was like our best special teams player. Because he blocked punts and everything. So Peyton Bowen was like that's where he made his
Lacey fumbling it in the end zone, and it was still counted as a
yeah. So yeah. Those are our special teams moments, like blocking some punts with Peyton Bowen. God, we're gonna have Billy Bowman and Peyton Bowen potentially on the field at the same time next year.
And no fly zone.
That's gonna be so great.
Oh my God, that's so great.
That's gonna be so great.
We're gonna have on one end will be Woody Washington, the other end will be like Gentry Williams or Josiah Wagner. It's like, oh my God, we have we have so many options at DB. Oh my God.
I do hope, and I may be smoking crack, and I'll just go ahead and say that I'm smoking crack. I do hope Woody has a little bit of a better year this year, because it did seem like he was on point in some games, and then some of them it's just like, what the hell, Woody?
I still like Woody. I know Woody has.
I do too. I'm hoping he has a better year.
Woody can still make plays. So
I'm not saying he can't. Woody, to me, felt like he was definitely a step up over, say, like Key Lawrence, where Key was like, when he got lost, it's like, dude, you left the stadium.
Hey, you know what? Props to Key for like being forced to play corner at Texas against Texas last year late in the game, because we were so banged up in the secondary. Yeah. But it's like, but guy like Kendall Dolby's back, and it's just like, oh my God, like our secondary is gonna be so talented next year. It's like, it's just insane to think about.
Yep,
the secondary.
It's gonna be the best low scoring team ever.
Honestly, dude, I don't get, dude. If we win games like 13-10 every for 5, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Like if we just go, if we go down to the fucking SEC and just like shut teams down, I'm totally fine with it. Just like, I don't care how you win, as long as you win. That's the important part. But if we can actually run the ball, and of course, the wide receiver room, dude, like the wide receiver room's getting praise, and it's not just the established. It's like, I know people are bitching about Farouk. That ain't gonna be a problem. Like Ivan Carrion, man, is big and tall, and he's like making a little noise, and Nick Anderson still being Nick Anderson apparently.
I mean, to be fair, I was bitching about Farouk near the end, but I also do think he's going to start getting passed up on the depth chart as well.
That's kind of my point. It's like, I don't think we're not like depending on him to be the guy. So if it turns into that, great, whatever. But Nick Anderson,
I mean, if you had two different tracks, you thought Stoops would have been the guy that Farouk is right now, and they switched role where Stoops became the go-to guy. Farouk.
Well, Stoops is different. He's one of those. I wish we could clone him and say he's got 1 more year of eligibility. I don't know about Justin Harrington. First of all, Justin Harrington has to recover from an ACL first, and then we got to hear about a dude can't catch a break, man. He's just got. I don't know. I can't count on Justin Harrington. I'm sorry, and it's nothing personal. It's just the dude's hurt all the time.
Yeah.
He got hurt in the first game. He tore his ACL again. So it's like, I can't put him on the list of he's going to do great things. Maybe, but it's not.
Yeah.
I can't put him on that list.
Yeah, and it's not the physical tear and everything too. It's also the mental aspect too.
I mean, I'm not even worried about that because he came back from that fine, but he still got hurt. It's like, fuck, dude. It's like some guys just like those ligaments, man. Sometimes people just don't have those ligaments, and they're just not meant to be. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, and wear tears are just so easy, and especially with like how much weight it puts down on you too.
Can you? Yeah, I need to be.
You need to be what?
I want to beat Missouri without question. Like Texas is obviously the one you got to win all the time, if you can. But
yeah,
I want to beat the shit out of Missouri. I want to beat Missouri like 49 to like 17, like something like that. I know that's like Luther Burden's going to be a bitch to try to cover, but God, I want to make those people in Columbia so miserable. I really do. Ole Miss is going to be tricky. You know, Bama and LSU. The fact that we get those games so late
helps us out. Because we'll know who Bama is. It's what you say, and I'm quoting you on it.
It's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse because sometimes they can come back to backfire on you. You think you know who they are, and then all of a sudden because if they suck early, they also have an entire season to get better too. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, Bama lost to Texas week 2, but then they finished the season by beating Georgia and making the playoff. And in retrospect, making Texas the next greatest thing. And Sark is so awesome, isn't he? So we got to hear that shit for a whole offseason. So, because remember, Texas is built for the SEC. I don't know if you've heard, Josh, but Texas is built for the SEC.
Really, their past 20 years would have convinced me otherwise.
Yeah, we're not built for that. Well, they beat Bama, so
that's.
It might be the worst Bama team offensively we've seen in like years, but they beat Bama. So,
but Bama didn't want to be there, even during the regular season. They didn't want. to be there.
That's a whole different argument we're talking about here. See, we're going back to making fun of 2013 Bama when they lost to us. No,
Oh, I'm sorry. Then we'll go the other way. Then they needed a quality loss.
That's true. Yeah. They needed that quality loss to Texas. It was it was like quality losses, man. See, we got to learn all this SEC lingo, like quality losses. That's why I'm big. That's why I'm so big on 9-3 making the playoff, because like I keep being told that we got the second toughest schedule. So I think 3 quality losses got to get you into the playoff.
Have you?
They're all going to be. They're all going to be SEC losses, so they're quality.
Have you seen? While you're making me think of it, do you know who the YouTuber Matt Mitchell is? I think he does like a one-man stand-up bit, but he had a video about a week ago. It's like SEC 101, a crash course for new teams. It was pretty funny. Like I was chuckling about it. Like
he's okay. I'm not gonna say everything he does is bad, but it's
a one-man gig. It hits or miss. The intro was very funny though. Just like the, oh well, guys, like you're gonna learn.
Listen, I have my own version of that shit I'm gonna do. Like I got an idea to do a hype video, and it was the worst time. It always hits you at like 4:00 in the morning, and you can't sleep. And then you get up and you actually find the perfect music you want to use, and you're like, fuck, now I found the music. Now that's in my head. My arrogance is getting the best of me. I'm going to do some narration for it. And it's going to be an epic type video. There's going to be some subtle jabs here and there potentially. Like I'm going to try to do my best, like, oh God. Who's that guy? Like one of the, it's like Marty and McGee on the SEC network. One of those guys who does like a lot of, he does like essay type videos where he narrates, or like kind of like in that vein.
Sure. Sure. I don't know.
God damn it. Why don't you people watch like ESPN content more for college football. Anyway,
I watched the U and the U Part 2 once.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's ESPN content. It's just not ESPN content you're
wanting. I want to do like kind of like a I kind of want to do like a kind of like hello SEC, we're Oklahoma. In case you don't know, this is who we are, and kind of do the play the greatest hits of things.
Yeah,
and I want to be a little poetic with we start. We're really big on math down here. Some of our favorite numbers, 47. 47 games in a row, and we have great players too. And I'll talk about some do this, some wear silver shoes, some do this, things like that. And
yeah.
And I have kind of like an idea of what it looks like in my head and sounds. And so we have chants, we have traditions, we have this, just like seriously, it'll be like it'll be genuine for the most part, but there'll be a few little.
I like yours. Yours is more like serious, very tone. Take us seriously with it. Gavin and I are working on a project. I'm not going to reveal on live stream. This is going to be a fun one when it's revealed, but mine is not that direction at all.
Oh no! You must understand. I'm going to be a fucking cocky son of a bitch prick too. You don't know me very well if you don't think I'm going to be. Ain't going to be that. Come on now. But I'm talking about I got the itch to make videos last year. I did my I did my freaking I did my Johnny Cash video where I did where I got separated lyrics from the music and
yeah.
I did kind of like the guitar riffs and did a bunch of stuff and that one worked out okay, I think. But I don't know. I found a good audio machine track that I like, and we shall see.
It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
I know. I actually have a version of Adobe Premiere that works now because I had a crappy one that was very slow, and now I have a better version. So and it works.
Yeah,
and that's what's important. And I got an Audition that works too. So yeah.
You're gonna have some good content then.
Yeah,
possibly. There's always a chance that I'll make promises and not keep them because that's another tradition I have.
Because it's making it. That's the issue, and it's the time.
Yeah, it's like one thing to have an idea, but it's like I've been wanting to make videos for a while, but the problem is like when I say videos, I mean I want to make these elaborate let's go back and look at some Sooner Magic moments and dissect them and what led up to them. But the problem is the time and effort to make those things and whether you can monetize them is the issue, because I could put all the work into it and then upload it, and then YouTube says, fuck you, Access on O's Digital owns half your video. I'm like, well, I can't monetize it, or I could beg people at the end to donate to Patreon or whatever the fuck, but at the same time, it's only a handful of people actually do that. So it's is it worth putting in the time and effort to do 10, 15 videos of something like that? I would love to do it. I would have a lot of fun, but if I can't monetize them, it's
maybe.
I
for you, it's a waste of time essentially for it.
It's not a waste of time because I don't consider it a waste of time because I would do it for fun in a prior YouTube life where I wasn't when I was literally just doing this shit for fun. But
yeah,
I have to think of everything I do with okay, can I monetize this? And I hate to have that mindset, but it's I can't put in 2 weeks worth of work for one video, and then all that 2 weeks of work you put in can't do anything with it unless you just say, if you support the channel, you can say, I can say support the channel at the end, but I mean it just depends. So I always thankfully Brent gave me a game last year I can add to the series, if you know what I mean. So
I got only one more thing for it. I mean, there's been plenty of other news, but I do want both of y'all's opinion before we wrap up as well. Yes. I think that national media heads are doing it, and I think it's just because it's a talking point for a Sunday. Do you think there's going to be ramifications for the storm rush, rushing the field, storming the court stuff because players actually did get injured now? Do you think that's coming where it's like, no, we're done with this?
Well, a Duke player got hurt, so now it's serious.
Well,
are we going to ignore the Stanford player who got trampled and like got his career ended? Like 10 or 15, I think it was 15 years ago, I think. But I feel like they're going to ignore it, but now the other hand's like,
here's your problem.
Well,
here's your problem at the end of the day. You can't, it's so ingrained in college fucking athletics, specifically football and basketball. It's really difficult to put a stop to it because you know how much fucking extra security it's going to take to put a stop to it?
A lot.
And forget football.
And you'd have to get nasty. That's the thing.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. It doesn't happen at Oklahoma because here's this thing. We tend to win a lot, so we don't
because we take care of business.
The last time we actually stormed the field at a home game was Nebraska 2000.
Yeah,
and it wasn't. Yeah. But here's the thing: for football games, there's more space.
Correct.
On a basketball court, it's like you condense the space, and then you have all these people rushing at once. And it's just that's where it's worse. Football games, not as much. I think the worst I saw was Auburn 2013 when they did the kick six. That was kind of insane.
Yeah.
That's when shit was really full on the field. But usually it's just the student section, and it's usually not that big everywhere. Like Texas Tech in 2008 when they beat Texas, that was a big rush. Remember they rushed the field multiple times because they had the game. And they got a flag, and they had to move them off the field. And it's just like so.
Yep.
Football
and
is
they
like
had to literally put the uprights back up just to keep the game going again.
Well, but it's like football seems like it's a bigger scale, but like you have more space to work with, and it's not as bad. I'm not saying you can't have. There's plenty of douchebag people on the field that shouldn't be there that end up causing fucking trouble.
I agree. Well, like I said,
basketball is worse. I don't know how you stop it.
And I think
you have to threaten. You have to threaten legal action and jail time and all that stuff.
That's what I keep thinking because on the radio today they kept saying that what's it called? On the radio, lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. On the radio today, they said, guys, if the SEC gets the highest fines and it still hasn't done anything, at some point you got to use your high def cameras and say, we saw you run on the field. You're getting fined.
We're gonna January 6 you motherfuckers if you don't stop. Is basically what you have to say.
At some point, it's you have to make it a part of an agreement of your season tickets. If you rush the field, you get fined $25,000, and this is not a non-negotiable thing. You agree to it or you don't. Sucks to be a student at that point. But Gavin, go ahead.
You have to January 6th.
Well, the other thing too is I was going to say too is like the issue is with the one player. There was like I was seeing this circulating on social media too. They had the overhead camera too, to where you could see where he was above the court. And I was kind of at that point to where if he was a little bit where he trampled, but it looked like he kind of had his foot sort of out when the students were rushing a little bit too. And I'm like I'm not saying I'm, putting the blame on the students so too, but like at that same time though too, it's like, I'm also at the point though too, like, I'm also at the point to like, did he injure himself, by trying to do something to trip somebody up?
I'm not even a Duke fan. I'm not going down that road.
I've seen that too, Gavin. That's conspiracy, just trying to defend it. At the end of the day, like they're on the court.
I'm not defending the court, on the court's issue itself, storming up or anything else. I'm just saying.
No, I know that. I know that.
Yeah, it's just like, you're both kind of putting yourselves in the wrong here, if anything. That's all I kind of get at more than anything.
I don't put him in the wrong at all. Because like
I look at it, Gavin, as
some fucking freshman from fucking Purdue or I'm sorry, Wake Forest or wherever the fuck has no business being on the court in the first place. So
That's how I'm seeing it. Is they're not supposed to
guess
be
what?
there.
If I rush the ring at WWE because they're beating up on Cody Rhodes and then Roman Reigns decides to fuck me in the face with a fist, guess what?
Correct. It's like that time, Gavin.
It's my fault.
It's like that time where the fan rushed the field and our security guard like speared him, and he tried to sue him for essentially unnecessary roughness on him. And they said, dude, we don't know what you have. He has every right to defend every single person there. That is his job. I'm sorry you got speared. Don't be a dipshit.
Dude, fans got pepper sprayed for the 2000 Nebraska game.
Yeah,
like I've heard stories.
Yeah.
It was like they got pepper sprayed. It's like, what? Because like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
and then they gave up. But yeah. Guys, let's wrap up. So I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell when you know we go live, upload a video. I think we're gonna try to do just like a February community like chat on Wednesday. Just everybody come hang out and everything. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. Boomer Sooner, only one. I hope to see everybody on Wednesday. Later.
See ya.